Now let's zoom out. The US and Saudi Arabia are ramping up their push. They see Hezbollah as an Iranian proxy, and every time Israel clashes with a group, pressure builds for Lebanon to finally do something. But here's the irony. While Washington is applauding Beirut for moving toward disarmament, Israel is still bombing Lebanon. Just this week, Israeli airstrikes killed 4 people, including civilians and Syrian refugees. Israeli drones are still flying over Lebanese skies, violating the so-called truce. So Hezbollah's response is, how can you even talk about disarming us while Israel is literally bombing Lebanon right now? And that's not an easy argument to dismiss. Now let's talk about the big fear, civil war. Hezbollah Secretary General Naim Qasem has already warned the government, don't confront us or it could lead to civil conflict. He's even hinted at mobilizing street protests. And analysts agree. Elijah Magnier told Al Jazeera that the Lebanese army has no appetite for a civil war, because if the army were to attack Hezbollah, many of his own Shia soldiers might defect. The army could split from within. So the army's plan is already stuck between 2 impossible choices. 1. Implement it and risk tearing Lebanon apart. 2. Don't implement it and look like the state is powerless. So where does this leave Lebanon? Right now, the government is trying to walk a tightrope. They've welcomed the plan without actually approving it. They've sent a signal to the international community, especially the US and Saudi Arabia, that they are listening. But on the ground, Hezbollah isn't going anywhere. Its ministers have walked out of cabinet meetings 3 times now over this issue. Its weapons are still firmly in its control, and its influence, both political and military, remains intact. The Lebanese army's plan might exist on paper, but in reality, it's trapped in Lebanon's endless cycle of political paralysis. Now, here's why this matters for you, even if you're not in Lebanon. Because this isn't just about Hezbollah. This is about the future of the Middle East. If Hezbollah stays armed, Israel will keep striking Lebanon. If the Lebanese army actually tries to disarm Hezbollah, the country could collapse into another civil war. And in both scenarios, Lebanon's already fragile economy and society, hit by inflation, blackouts, refugee crisis, will be pushed to the brink. Meanwhile, the US, Saudi Arabia, Iran, and Israel are all using Lebanon as a chessboard for their own interests. So what looks like a cabinet plan in Beirut is actually a flashpoint that could redraw the region's future. So let's go back to the question we started with. Is Lebanon finally disarming Hezbollah? The answer, at least for now, is no. What we are seeing is a government caught between international pressure and domestic reality. A military that admits it has limited capabilities, and a political system where one walkout can paralyze everything. Lebanon may have taken the first step, drafting a plan. But unless there's unity, unless there's a real shift in power, Hezbollah's weapons aren't going anywhere. And that means the shadow of war, whether with Israel or with Lebanon itself, isn't going anywhere either. What do you think? Should Lebanon risk everything by pushing to disarm Hezbollah now? Or is the cost of trying simply too high? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you want deeper dives into stories the mainstream media barely touches, make sure you hit subscribe. Because the story, Lebanon's struggle with Hezbollah, isn't just a headline, it's a battle over who controls the future of the Middle East.